The year is 1998. A prime Roy Jones Jr., after flirting with the idea of going into the heavyweight division and relinquishing his WBC light heavyweight title, gets cold feet and decides to stay in his lane, demolishing the rest of the competition in the division that he thrives in so well.
I've been through the Lennox Lewis era, the Nassim Hamed era, the Sugar Shane Moses era, the Oscar De La Hoya era, Marco Antonio Barrera. I've been through all the eras, and I've still been here.
Next up on his ever-shortening list of opponents to embarrass is Virgil Hill, a respectable fighter with a record of 43-2, with his 2 losses being to the magnificent Thomas Hearns and the undefeated Darius Michael Kuski. The fight was always going to be in favor of Roy due to his marvelous record and domination he'd been putting on the light heavyweight division for years now. But Quicksilver Virgil was no joke. Could he be the man to put Jones in his place and show him the light heavyweight division was ready for change? Or would Captain Hook show Virgil Hill that he was living in Neverland to think he could win?
All you have to do is believe in yourself, sacrifice, and anything can come true.
Welcome back to Boxing After Dark, where today we're looking at an iconic fight in the era of Roy Jones Jr.'s many years of domination in the light heavyweight division. A fight which displayed his raw talent against fighters that many would fear. Where many would treat an opponent of this caliber as a fighter worth taking serious, tonight we see how Roy Jones would handle an opponent of this stature. Will his class and style see him through to the end of the fight like always? Or is this the beginning of the end for Roy Jones Jr.? Whilst Jones needs no introduction to the masses due to him being such a dominant force in the sport for decades at a time, he was at the very least at an interesting point in his career. After suffering a very harsh disqualification against Montel Griffin for punching his opponent as he went to the canvas, he destroyed him in the rematch, winning back his WBC light heavyweight title that he had trained and fought for so many years.
Roy Jones still #1, and gonna be that way, baby. So all these doubters, him and all the rest of them that think Roy Jones is a fluke, now they know.
But as mentioned prior, Roy was planning on moving up to the heavyweight division. He was eyeing the old veteran legend Buster Douglas, who after retiring due to his iconic loss to Holyfield in 1990, had slowly but surely been gaining himself a steady stream of wins on his record. But now he wanted titles, and so did Roy. The fight was heavily rumored and expected to happen, but eventually Jones caved and realized that he wasn't ready for the heavyweight division. But whilst that was going on in the shadows, Roy wanted to stay active, and Virgil seemed like the perfect test subject for him to show that he could beat opponents with good records just for fun, even without anything to gain from it. Virgil Hill, despite having the odds stacked against him, was most definitely a good fighter. With a name like Quicksilver, it doesn't take long to figure out his best attribute, and when looking at the record, you see power isn't what he puts to use in the ring. With 43 wins and only 20 by knockout, it's clear his speed and stamina is what gets him the win, so the fight will of course be the legendary battle of speed versus power. The fight finally came on April 25th, 1998, and the crowd was roaring. The fight was going to be an exciting one, and Roy Jones Jr. came out looking mean and determined to show the world why he's still the best in the light heavyweight division, even without a belt to show for it. Virgil, despite looking suave and confident during the build-up to the fight, looked less so on the night. Perhaps a moment of realization had set in that he may be getting back-to-back losses on his record for the first time, or maybe he just had some pre-fight nerves and once in the ring would sharpen up. Only time could tell.
Saw the 305 days inactive for Virgil Hill coming in. Maybe that's good because he was bothered by injury in his loss to Michalczewski, particularly a tendon injury on the bottom of his foot that made it extremely painful for him to step forward. Jones coming out aggressive in the first round, not waiting to see, or check it, Hill coming out aggressive, I should say, not waiting to see what Jones is going to do.
Yeah, because of the bias, your body.
Also against McCallum, he says it's a viable tactic which he uses to bide his time and wear his opponents down. Quick left hook up top by Jones.
And Jones is standing still, allowing him to do his left.
Stepping in and firing a single left hook. Hill coming back and struggling to try to land a jab and a right hand. Quick left hand shot by Jones, and he lands a right over the top. Another right hand, and Jones is starting to get it going in the last minute of round number 1.
He's able to withstand those heavy blows.
Hill has stuck to his knitting, trying to land his jab and work to the body throughout the round.
As the round nears its close, we see Roy start to open up out of his shell as he lands a multiple fresh jabs and starts showing the gap in skill between the two fighters.
Hill landed 17 of 42 jabs in the first round. Almost all of those 17 connects to the body where he's been focusing his attack. You can see him coming out in round 2 with the same thing. Punches.
Hill is doing a good job. He boxes when Jones wants to stand still. When Jones standing still, he'll start moving forward.
And Jones often is not firing back. Jones choosing his occasions for stepping in with quick left hooks up top or the right hand lead. Another right hand lands for Jones.
This guy is able to really recover good from a shot, Virgil Hill.
So you like Hill's fight plan so far, George?
So far, he's catching a lot of shots, but of course, he's being shot by a genuine middleweight. He's been in there with the big light heavyweights for the last few years. The Cavs. He's been caught with some good shots, but believe me, there's not enough weight behind him yet. As we said early on, you got to worry about the scars on your face.
Being his left jab in Jones's chest, now he comes back up top and backs Roy into the ropes.
Round 2 keeps the tempo slow, and once again Virgil looks strong as things begin, sneaking in some jabs to the face of Roy Jones. As the round progresses, things begin to get cagier, and the two seem reluctant to open themselves up for a counter. With Jones's power and Virgil's speed, the both leave themselves open to something devastating if they don't keep themselves covered.
And you heard Alton Murkerson suggesting to Jones that Hill is reaching for his jab, so if he fakes the jab to the body and comes upstairs with the left hook, he'll do some damage.
But he's not going to all of this unorthodox stuff.
Get the impression early, doesn't have it in
using his left jab this time. That's something he doesn't like to do.
But
has a jab. He has a jab, Roy Jones does.
And Hill still just trying to keep his glove on Jones. Jones lands the left, but it's good jab at a time. Now there's the combination. Jab and right hand. Retaliation.
Good right hand by Jones, and I thought that momentarily stunned Hill.
And the stomach about the gloves early on. When a guy is that concerned about gloves, that means there's maybe something wrong with one hand or another.
The long sun-rays gloves just a few hours before fight time.
Harold Letterman said that Roy Jones would try his overhand right.
Right hand shot by Jones as the round comes to a close. Virgil Hill stopping Jones in his tracks with the left jab.
As round 3 comes forth, the fight begins to heat up as Roy pits his skills on display. Dancing around the ring and finding weak spots in the strategy of Virgil, he speeds himself up, landing some blink and you'll miss it hooks and jabs, and avoids the punches coming from Hill with his impeccable defense.
Here comes Hill to begin round 4 against Roy Jones. There you go.
Virgil Hill is doing a lot of footwork, and when you got the power and the size like that, you got to move forward. You don't need to box.
So far, it's Jones's power over Hill's jab.
Whoa!
Right to the body, down.
Unheard of! Unheard of!
Only the third time Hill's ever been down. He's holding the kidney area on the right side. And Steinwinder the fight. First time Virgil Hill's ever been knocked out. Roy Jones did it with a right hand to the body.
Well, it was just a sudden shot underneath the jab instead of over the jab. Through the first 3 rounds, Virgil Hill had been seeing Roy throw the punch, throw the right hand over the jab. This time he elected to throw it under the jab.
Roy Jones shows why he's the best in his division once again as he takes out a top talent with ease, giving Hill the first knockout loss of his career. Hill, despite breaking his ribs from the power of Junior's right hand, recovered okay after the fight and would continue to fight in the light heavyweight division. He counted his losses and decided not to go in for a rematch with Roy. Roy Jones Jr. was here to stay, and stay he has, still fighting 25 years later. His career is one of legend. Despite some losses late on in his career, Roy Jones Jr. showcased why he was a legend of the ring in that night, making something out of nothing and casually outboxing some of the better fighters in his division without a worry in the world. If you've enjoyed this video and would like to see more from Boxing After Dark, Feel free to subscribe to the channel and don't be afraid to drop a like and comment. Thank you for watching.